A well-dressed young man enters the home of a beautiful woman. They talk a little, he gives her some gifts, then he gives her an envelope full of cash. This is Benjamin, a lonely 30-year-old accountant visiting Heather, an escort. But Benjamin isn't just there because he's lonely. There's something far more elaborate going on. He's dressed in his only suit. He rented a luxury car just to park it outside. He's acting overconfident, wealthy, pretending to be someone we know he's not. Heather, exhausted with this kind of posturing, starts poking holes in Benjamin's performance, creating tension. This tension continues right into the bedroom. When the sex that follows doesn't end well, Benjamin is left feeling lonelier than ever. But as he's alone in Heather's room, he notices something odd behind her bookshelf. A small hole in the wall, and inside it, a spy camera. Everything has been recorded. The sudden risk of exposure panics Benjamin, but right as he's about to confront Heather, he makes his second dark realization of the night. Except this one's a whole lot worse. Heather doesn't know about the camera either. So who does it belong to? And once Benjamin finds out, what will he do? The story's climax forces him into a self-confrontation and a choice. Does he help someone he barely knows and risk exposing himself, or does he simply walk away and keep his image intact? And above all, what was he really doing there in the first place? Hi, my name's Eddie Mines. I'm a Toronto-based writer, director, and producer, planning to take the story I just described and turn it into a reality. Seeing Someone is a film about image, exploitation, masculinity, and transactional relationships. Drawing on films such as Sean Baker's Honora, I want to use the backdrop of the sex industry to explore these themes, not for shock value, but sort of as the perfect metaphor for modern dating. Where all too often it's no longer connection, it's optics, lifestyle, what you offer versus who you are. Because we live in the loneliest generation in history. Social and dating apps have left us feeling isolated and commodified. You can't just be yourself when you're being compared to millions of other people. We feel compelled to exaggerate our lives just to fit in, let alone stand out. And the vast majority of us now feel that we are not good enough. This is Benjamin, a man who feels stuck, working from home, little to no social circle, and no confidence to get back into the dating world. He's average height, average looks, average salary, in other words, invisible. Something has to change, not just his situation, but his entire personality, because he's been led to believe that in order to achieve success, you must convey it first. And being so isolated, the only thing that informs him about how to act like a successful man is social media. The performative, materialistic kind of masculinity prescribed online that so many young men gravitate toward because mainstream culture doesn't offer a good enough alternative. The core conflict is the tension between Benjamin's invented self and his true self. I want to show that real masculinity, the instinctual way you show strength, empathy, and react in the face of adversity, is what determines who you really are. Benjamin doesn't need a new mask, he just needs to show his real face. But it's not all about Benjamin. Heather represents the other side of the transactional coin. Her journey is about waking up to the reality of exploitation while finding renewed hope that genuine connection is still possible. She sees through Benjamin's fantasy, searching for a human pulse beneath his mechanical performance. Because as our feeling of isolation in the modern digital landscape grows, all of us are looking for something to make us feel human again, to bring back a sense of reality. So why the title Seeing Someone? There's the sexual connotation, obviously. We also use that term when we're not ready to call something a relationship. It's shallow, non-committal, and in my opinion, representative of a lot of modern dating. But the title also relates to a couple of artistic choices, the craziest of which is that when we first meet Heather, we're not going to see her face. In fact, for most of the movie, we're not going to see her face. Through strategic framing and editing, she'll interact with Benjamin, but we never get a good look at her. That is, until we learn some crucial information about her later in the story. So why am I choosing to do this? Well, this is meant to show the disconnect between the two characters, and demonstrate just how shallow and transactional their relationship really is. Benjamin doesn't even see Heather at first. She's a placeholder, not a person. But in similar fashion, we as viewers don't even learn Benjamin's name until the very end. He's as anonymous to us as he is to Heather, until he reveals his true nature. The real connection begins when anonymity ends. And finally, the title refers to the dual nature of people in general. We all present curated versions of ourselves to the world. We all have a mask. And our initial impression of a person is often very different to their true nature. Until we see them for who they really are, we never really know them at all. If you like this concept and are interested in learning more, please check out our website and consider getting in touch to stay updated on progress or to be notified when our crowdfunding campaign launches. I'm very excited to be bringing this project to the screen. Thank you.